Hello, darling one, and welcome to my channel. And Happy Halloween! Also known as Happy Florence and the Machine album release day. Couldn't be more excited about that. Actually, couldn't be more excited about all those things. All right, so lately I've been thinking about how I can bring some extra Halloween cheer this year. And then all of a sudden, the idea came to me like a glimmering ghost in the night. So, I'd like to take you along on my strange journey to bring this idea into reality. So what are the magic words for Halloween? Anyone? Trick or treat? Now, here's what I think though. I think we can do both trick and treat. So, the first step that we're going to do is we are going to bring both of those ideas together with a trick and a treat. Let's get started. All right, so I'd say we have a pretty good pile here for Project Halloween Cheer. So let's go ahead and do step number 2. Okay, so now that we've made our little treat bags, we need something to hand them out in style. So I created this vintage style jack-o'-lantern out of, one of those old foam, one of those foam pumpkins that you can buy at a craft store. I repainted it so that it has kind of, like some more texture to it. And then, in the green bottom, of course. And I drew on where I wanted the line and the features. And then my wonderful, darling husband cut all of those things out for me. And then I took some pieces of paper and painted the features. And then I Mod Podged the paper to make it more durable. And I attached it to the back, the inside here, with some Mod Podge as well. And he also drilled some holes in the sides so that I could attach this this wire handle, which I'm probably actually going to add some fabric onto just to make it more comfortable to hold. And then I took some streamers. This is just a few layers of streamer, and I trimmed them up, and then I just used a little Elmer's glue and put it right around the top of it to give it that sort of like old vintage feel. So this is what we are going to deliver our candy in. Also, if you really like this and you want to know how I did it, let me know in the comments, and I might do a video on like how to make one of these. If you're interested, I mean, just let me know. All right, so we've got our treats in there. Yay! And now it's time for step 3. For step number 3, make a sign. Ta-da! It's showtime! All right, today's the big day. Project Halloween Cheer is finally here, and I couldn't be more excited. What is my hope for today? Honestly, I just hope that I can bring a little unexpected joy to someone who's maybe driving home from a long day of work. I hope that I can make people smile or laugh. But I think above all, I just hope that I can make someone's day a little bit better. Am I nervous? Yes, absolutely. It can be really scary to put yourself out there. But in the end, we must show up for each other, however we can. Okay, so I just got back and it's kind of late, but I wanted to check in and give you my thoughts on how it went down today. And I would say it was a success. It went really, really well. The response was great. I got so many honks, you guys, and like zero hate. I got zero hate. I got a lot of like smiles and giggles and waves. And, you know, some people were like super enthusiastic about it. Like they would like lay on their horn or like honk a whole bunch. Like people were super excited about it. And I got to give out some of my treats. I didn't give out all of them, unfortunately, because it was an odd situation where like, you know, it was at a stoplight, and so I could really only give candy to people like when the light was red, but I only wanted to give it to people that were like receptive to it. So like if they like had honked on their horn for Halloween, then I would like run over to their car and like give them a treat, which they were absolutely delighted and surprised. I think maybe they thought because I had like a pail that I was like gonna ask for something from them, but obviously that wasn't the case. Like I wanted to give something. The thing that I will say is that my sign was so big. Like it was much bigger than I realized. And so that provided a bit of a challenge, like when I wanted to give treats, because I was up there with like this great big sign and like the wind was blowing sometimes. And so I was like really wrestling with like to hold up this huge sign. And then, when I wanted to give a treat, I had to like keep an eye on the light. And so I had to like drop down the sign real fast and like put it under my arm and like scurry over to the car as quickly as I could and like dip my hand in the pail and like give them a treat. But overall, it was so much fun. I would highly recommend 5 out of 5 stars for sure. All right, and now it's time for some updates. So if you'll remember a couple episodes back, I talked about some books that I was like reading or going to read, and I have finished some stuff and I have some thoughts. Okay, so the first book that I want to talk to you about is Carmilla. Guys, this book was so freaking good. I loved it so much. I can't even tell you. This is a vampire story. It was written, I think, about 30 years before Dracula was actually written. And it's a female vampire. And it is so atmospheric and beautiful and unsettling and like sensual. It's just so good. And I can't recommend it enough. After I read it, I immediately went out and got Hungerstone, and I'm so excited to read that book. This is, I guess you'd call it a classic because it's like, it's like older. It was like written in the 1800s, but it's not super wordy and hard. It's not difficult to read. It actually goes very quickly. It's a very thin book. I loved it so much. I'm sure I'm going to return to it time and time again. I'm definitely going to read it every Halloween now. It just I loved it. I loved it. I can't recommend it enough. Carmilla. Okay, so after I read Carmilla, I had forgotten that this book was coming out, and I went ahead and picked it up and pushed my other books back. This is Play Nice by Rachel Harrison, and I have only ever read Cackle by Rachel Harrison, and I loved it. I really loved it. It's cozy, it's witchy, and spooky. It has all of the elements that I love in it. Cackle does. This is a haunted house book, and it was really good, you guys. So when I read the premise, I wasn't so sure that it would be for me. I love a good haunted house book, but it like revolves around kind of like a dysfunctional family. So there are these 3 sisters, and like their parents had been divorced, and they grew up in a house that like their mother owned this house, and their mother claimed it was haunted and had like written a book about it and everything. No one believed her that it was haunted. And when the mother dies, the youngest daughter, who is an influencer, finds out that she left this house behind. And so she kind of like has this like vision of like fixing it up and like posting photos and like, just this whole do-it-yourselfer sort of social media stuff. And once she gets into the house and starts doing things, she starts to discover that maybe the house really is haunted. So anyways, I thought it was very well written. It was a quick read because it just went so fast. It was well written to the point where, you know, I couldn't put it down. So anyways, I highly recommend Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. It was really good. All right, so I hate to do this, I really do, but the next book that I'm going to talk about is this one, The Bewitching. I am just a little over halfway through it, and guys, I'm not loving it. I'm not. I'm still waiting for something to happen. I mean, I'm like over halfway through it, and I'm still waiting for something to happen in it. I do, like, as I've said before, I don't really care for like time jumps with like different perspectives. I really like a book that just follows the story through without jumping around. So that's a me thing, I guess. But also, and some of you are not gonna like this, but I think in reading this book, I've really discovered that I just maybe do not like dark academia. Maybe it's just not for me, because there have been a number of other books that I've tried to read that were dark academia, and I didn't love them. I didn't like them. Anyways, that's where I'm at with The Bewitching. I'll finish it. I hope it picks up. I've heard that the ending is pretty satisfying, but I just feel like you have to trudge through a lot of stuff in order to get to that satisfying ending, and I'm just not loving it, guys. The Bewitching. Okay, so the final like sort of book sort of thing that I want to share with you is actually a little bit of a continuation from the last episode I did for Toxic Tunes. I received the scrapbook in the mail. This is it. And it is freaking awesome. It is so good. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Just the cover, just the back cover. Look how much Halloween is there. And I mean, like, I love it. Look at all those Halloween photos. It's like Halloween candy for your brain. Anyways, I highly recommend it. I think he maybe has one or two left in his shop, so if you're lucky enough to get one, yay. But it is so good, and I'm definitely going to return to this time and time again when I need like a little Halloween boost. And also, he has, I found out he has a YouTube channel, and he has a cartoon on there of these two guys, and it's really great. So anyways, yep, here we go. I highly recommend it. And that being said, I have finished my Uncle Pigger's sculpture. So let's have a look. Okay, I just had to switch out my battery. I talk way too much. Speaking of talking too much, I got sick like almost 3 weeks ago now. And it just feels like it's hanging on forever. So if I sound nasally and gross, that's why, and I apologize for it. So just bear with me, pretty please. Anyways, I want to show you my finished sculpture of Uncle Piggers of Toxic Tunes. So I based this sculpture off of the Uncle Piggers Spook House DVD, which is offered in the Toxic Tunes shop. And I showed you in my last episode, Toxic Tunes, A Love Letter, the progress of the sculpture, and it's finally finished. And here he is. Ta-da! I tried to get it as close as I could to the character in the video Children's Day at the Morgue. So you'll see he's wearing an apron. He has this sort of, in the video, he's wearing this coat that almost looks like it's a little too small for him, and it has a fur collar. This fur collar is not accurate because this is like a leopard print. It was the best that I had on hand. I have other faux furs, but they're like super bulky, and I wanted it to lay flat like it does in the video. So that's the only thing that I kind of, you know, did different and just kind of ran with it. Anyways, yeah, so he's got his bottle cap glasses, and he has his funky teeth. I made him a little party hat like he wears in the video. He's got his neck brace. In the video, he's like wearing this like weird neck brace. Who knows why? Who cares? It's amazing. And obviously in the video, his sleeves are like longer than the jacket. So yep, there he is. There are his, I like to do creepy feet. I know in the video he's like wearing boots or whatever, but I like to show off creepy feet when I can. And here's the back. Let me just turn it around for you clumsily. Yeah, and then obviously made the stand for it with the help of my husband. He's wonderful. Okay, so yeah, there he is, Uncle Piggers. Let me give you one more close-up. I don't know if it's blurry. Is it blurry? Hello! All right, so there's that. So let's talk about Halloween traditions. What are your traditions on Halloween Day? So for me, I have a mixture of older traditions and newer traditions. When I was a kid in kindergarten, one day at school we were watching The Wizard of Oz, and my dad came to pick me up from school. And as we were leaving, he looked down at me and he said, "So, who's your favorite character from The Wizard of Oz?" And, you know, being a little kid, I of course said, "Dorothy." And he said, "Huh, I always loved the Wicked Witch the best." And after that, the Wicked Witch was my favorite character too. And that then started my lifelong love of Halloween. So Halloween morning, I will be visiting my dad at the graveyard. He passed away a couple years ago, and I feel like Halloween is the perfect day to visit him because we both loved the holiday. We shared that in common. He was always the one that took us out trick-or-treating. He loved ghosts and ghost shows and horror movies, and I am the Halloween person that I am today because of him. So yes, so Halloween morning I will be paying a visit to my dad in honor of our love of Halloween. Another thing that I'll be doing Halloween morning is I will be prepping some vegetarian chili and tossing it in the crock pot. So set it and forget it. I have been making chili on Halloween Day, I'd say maybe for like the last 4 or 5 years. And I just love it so much because it just fills the whole house with like this really yummy smell. And as I'm like getting ready for trick-or-treaters and stuff, I don't have to like worry about making dinner. Like it's already gonna be made. So yeah, that's what I like to make on Halloween Day. Another thing that I like to do on Halloween, of course, is dress up and pass out candy. Maybe this year I'll do Corpsey Lou. Maybe, I usually do. I usually dress up as some iteration of Corpsey Lou. Or maybe I actually put together a costume this year. Like I got the stuff for it, and I really wanted, I wanted to do a video for you guys in my other costume. But because I got sick, I wasn't able to do a lot of things this month, including making like 2 other videos that I had planned for you guys, which really sucks. But you know what? I can like push them off and we can do them another time because it's Halloween all year round here, right guys, at Corpsey Lou's house. Anyways, yeah, so we used to live in Massachusetts, and we used to do a garage haunt there, and we lived on like the trick-or-treat street, which was amazing, and we would get so many kids coming through our garage haunt, and it was so awesome. Where we live now, kids actually literally trick-or-treat on Main Street. So that's where the majority of the trick-or-treating happens. So sometimes they'll wander over to our house, which is pretty cool. I mean, we really do it up decoration-wise, so it really signals to the kids and families that we do Halloween at this house. So yeah, so I'd say we get maybe a fair amount of kids. Nothing like we used to though. But anyways, so yes, so I will be dressing up and passing out candy. How about you? Are you going to be dressing out and dressing out? Are you going to be dressing up and passing out candy as well? Or are you taking some little ones trick-or-treating this year? Let me know. I would love to know what your plans are. As I said, where we live, Main Street is literally the place to trick-or-treat. So another thing that I love to do on Halloween is I pass the torch to my husband for a little while and let him pass out candy. And then I head out to Main Street and I just kind of like walk up and down the street and just enjoy watching kids in their costumes and the families in their costumes, like running around, trick-or-treating. I love to look at all the decorations. Some people play music on Halloween. It just takes me right back to when I was a kid, trick-or-treating on Halloween. And so yeah, so that's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so Halloween night, you have to watch a spooky movie. Whether it's, spooky fun or a little bit scary. And there's this movie that came out a couple years ago, and it will forever be my Halloween night movie from here to the end of time. And that is Late Night with the Devil. This movie is so much fun. It's very nostalgic. It's almost like it's set up a little bit like a found footage, but it's about a late night talk show host that like his show is starting to like fall in ratings, and so in order to bring them up, he decides he's going to have, do like a Halloween special. And he has this girl who's supposedly possessed by the devil. And anyways, things get really out of control as the night progresses. And it's just, but it takes place in like the 1970s. And it feels like you're watching like one of those old late night TV shows. Anyways, and also David Dastmalchian is incredible. I love him anyways. I just love him. I'll watch him in anything. And it was so awesome to see him as the leading man in a movie finally, because he deserves it. He really does. And we need more of that. We need more of that. Anyways, yes. So this is what I will be watching. And yeah, Late Night with the Devil. the last thing that I do every Halloween, and I've done this for 12 years now, I guess, is I have a friend, Allie Burke, who is an illustrator and painter, and she does Halloween artwork year-round. She's incredible. One of these days I will do an episode revolving around Allie Burke's work because I have got some of her stuff. But anyways, every year at Halloween time, she puts out a Halloween zine called No Treats, Only Tricks. And this is this year's zine. I order it right when it comes out because sometimes they sell out. And then I just hold on to it. I sit on it until Halloween night. And then that's when I crack it open. Like, I'll get into bed and cozy up. It's the end of Halloween, and that is when I go through her zine. And I just delight in this every single year, and I get so excited. And it's just such a great way to end Halloween because, like, I'm a firm believer that Halloween is a season. It's not just a day, because if you focus on just the day, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment because so many things can go wrong. Whereas if you set it up for an entire month, you have a whole, month or season, like couple of months. Then you have all that time to accomplish all the Halloween things that you want to do. And you're not just like setting yourself up for failure for one day. But the thing that I love about having this particular tradition is that no matter how my Halloween day goes, at the very end of it, I know that I've got something special. And so yes, that is my final thing that I do. I know some people, like, they'll bring it in like the new year, they'll like watch a movie, like as a very specific movie as turns midnight on Halloween. But for me, it's No Treats, Only Tricks scene. How about you? Like, how do you finish up your Halloween night? And do you pass out candy? Like, what are your traditions? I want to know. I love hearing about what other people do for Halloween, and I just love talking about Halloween. So anytime you want to talk to me about Halloween, give me a shout out. All right. Well, anyways, I hope that you have enjoyed this very special, probably super long Halloween episode. I hope that you are having the best Halloween wherever you are out there, and that all of your Halloween dreams come true. And I look forward to chatting with you next time. Bye for now, everyone.
They're out for Halloween, the costumes are a scream. It sure is fun to see 'em, the kids who trick or treat. Just look at what they're wearing, they're all just up for scaring. They're cute beyond comparing, the kids who trick or treat.